Okay guys, what's going on? So I am currently 5 weeks out of show number 1 of the season, and this is episode 2 of The Hunt.
Yeah. Whenever you rap, it's embarrassing. I blow through the shit like a terrorist. I'm puffing and Drake's on the terraces. Tonight I'll be up in the air again. And I don't like making appearances. She loving the fact I'm American. They tell me that I need a therapist. And lately I've been acting arrogant. Whenever you rap, it's embarrassing. I blow through the shit like a terrorist. I'm puffing and Drake's on the terraces. Tonight I'll be up in the air again. And I don't like making appearances. She loving the fact I'm American. They tell me that I need a therapist. And lately I've been acting arrogant.
Open triple digits on the highway. And we could probably take it back to my place. And I'll show you what it's like to live with mine.
Yeah. They try to tell me that I never listen. Always been the type to make my own decisions. Never been the type to live in fear. Now I'm making money from my intuition. Like damn, better know when I'm in. I've been coming through hot, finna know when I land. I've been getting more known from the old to Japan. Now I'm making these songs, got them all in my hands like.
You can find me at a crossroad, probably hitting demons up on my soul. I've been moving fast, if we talking cash, put that on the table pronto.
I'm only saying what I gotta mention. If you want it, you should pay attention. I told my family I'ma make a living. Now they getting closer when I speak the vision like woo. Whenever you rap, it's embarrassing. I blow through the shit like a terrorist. I'm puffing and Drake's on the terraces. Tonight I'll be up in the air again. And I don't like making appearances. She loving the fact I'm American. They tell me that I need a therapist. And lately I've been acting arrogant. Whenever you rap, it's embarrassing. I blow through the shit like a terrorist. I'm puffing and Drake's on the terraces. Tonight I'll be up in the air again. And I don't like making appearances. She loving the fact I'm American. They tell me that I need a therapist. And lately I've been acting arrogant.
I've been in the cut doing it my way. Pushing, flipping triple digits on the highway.
First things first, obviously 5 weeks out, it's a big thing for me. It's almost another marker. You know, you have your 16 weeks out, you have your 12 weeks, your 10 weeks, your 5 weeks. So it's like, this is getting to crunch time now, you know. It's the point where your body changes constantly, and you find your body temperature super high all the time as well. Your metabolism is working in overdrive, and it is very hot in Glasgow at the moment, and I am feeling the heat. So yeah, so I'm currently 5 weeks away from the PCA Wales, and then the week after that I will be on the hunt for my pro card. That's currently where I'm at the moment. We hit a pull last week, and it was a good session. Felt really good and full last week. This week has been a little different. Made a few changes on the weekend. I pulled my food down a little bit, increased my cardio, changed my supplementation slightly. The difference has been pretty much night and day. I see a big difference in my physique. I can see conditions better. I learned to come in. Come on in. So basically, yeah, just got to keep cracking on. I've taken the reins now for the last 5 weeks, just a couple of my own reasons. 5 weeks to go, and I'm feeling damn good. Weight did drop around 1.5 kilos. It slowly crept back up again, but I'm still down on what I was last week, which is also very positive and motivating for myself. And I look the best I've looked this far out of a show, so I can't really complain. So today I'm resting, and then I'm looking to see how I look tomorrow morning, basically, to decide what the plan will be for the weekend ahead. I had a pizza on Sunday last week. No, it was Saturday last week, and that made a big difference as well. When I have a cheat meal, I do find that my physique does change a lot. So we're going to talk about the off season, okay? Now I've got a couple of topics that I want to cover. Okay, so the first topic, ideal off season length. This is a very simple answer. The ideal off season length is as long as it takes to make the improvements you were told to make by a judge. Now, if you're not competing, then you don't really have an off season. So this is directly for competitors, because you can't have an off season if you haven't had a season. So the ideal length is as long as it's taken to make the improvements. And realistically, if there are a lot of improvements to make, I would say no shorter than 6 months. You need that time, because building muscle takes a long time. It's not as quick as burning fat, okay? Which brings me on to the next topic. How do you know if you're building muscle? Well, again, it's difficult, but it's kind of the sense of that if you're getting stronger in the gym progressively and consistently, the weights are going up, you're getting more reps, you're getting better recovery, you're finding that weights you were using 6 weeks ago and now your warm-up weights. If that is happening and your nutrition is where it should be, then you should be accumulating muscle tissue. there's no exact measure to see if you're gaining muscle, but you'll tend to know. You'll feel bigger, you'll feel fuller. And then every 6 or 7 weeks or so, look at pictures and compare. And look at your weak areas. And are they still weak areas? Are they getting less weak? Are they getting better? And if that's the case, then you're on the right track and you are gaining muscle. But I think strength is a very big indicator of this, and strength across a higher rep range, not 1 rep maxes, not 2 rep maxes. If you're getting stronger in that maybe 6 to 12, 6 to 10 rep range, then you're definitely building muscle. And you'll know about it because you'll start to be able to consume more food, and whilst remaining in a relatively good place with body fat. And the more muscle you have, the more food you can consume because the faster your metabolic rate becomes. So again, you will know just from certain things such as that if you are building muscle tissue or if you're just getting fat, which again then brings me on to the next topic. Should you stay lean or accumulate body fat to grow the most muscle? What's ideal? Now, the way I see it, I've done both. I've gotten really soft, I've stayed really tight. The way I see it, don't plan a certain look, okay? Be realistic with your food. You don't put way too much food that you can't eat it and then you get really chubby. Don't put a meal plan and then eat loads of junk food on top of it, because if you work out your calories to a nice surplus and then you start adding an extra 1,000 calories a day on top of that surplus, you are going to get really soft. The best thing to do again is to track your performance in the gym. Are you getting stronger every session? And yeah, don't need to increase your food. Has your strength taken a dip? Okay, we'll try and deload first. If your strength still hasn't come back up, then maybe it is time to increase your food slowly and in small increments where your body needs them around the training window. And myself, when I'm in the off season, my calories will never be less than say 6,000 at the peak. That's where I like to sit. I struggle because I'm not a big eater, but that's where I need to sit. Otherwise, I just kind of stay in the same place, maintain, maybe go up a little bit and down a little bit. So that's where I sit. And in terms of condition, I just make sure that I can still see some cuts in my legs, slight definition through the midsection, some vascularity. If you lose all definition completely, realistically, you are probably in the wrong place. You need to have some sort of visual indicator that you're still lean. And I'm not saying to keep a full 6-pack all year round, but you should be in a place where you wouldn't feel embarrassed to take your top off. You might not be happy, but you wouldn't feel embarrassed, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a good place. And you don't want to be walking around bloated and uncomfortable with it as well. So it's important that you make sure your nutrition is on point and you're consistent and accountable with it. So let's talk about the yo-yo effect in the off season. Now, what tends to happen a lot in off seasons is people come straight off a show and go straight into an off season, and they cannot stop eating food. They love to eat, their hormones are going crazy and the food's going in and they can't stop, and they start gaining loads and loads and loads of weight, and then they need do a little mini cut, and then the mini cut's over, then their cravings come back because they've just been in a deficit. So again, they start eating, they gain even more weight, and then this is the yo-yo effect. They're going up and down, up and down. Now, I believe the best way to approach an off-season post-show is, first things first, do not have any food in the house. Don't have anything. Come home to an empty fridge. Okay? The reason I say this is, once you step off stage, go out for a meal. Have food with friends and family. There's only so much you can eat in one sitting of food, okay? Once this is done, get home, you've eaten enough. You don't need to then go home and sit there and continue eating and eating and eating and eating, because that's just going to put you in a really, really bad place. That is very difficult to get out of. So, go home to an empty fridge. Maybe a bit of cereal, or maybe like a bar of chocolate, but just have something there that isn't basically 20,000 calories worth of food. Wake up in the morning, go and do your food shop on that day, okay? Buy nice stuff that you want, yeah? Go buy a nice breakfast, buy a nice lunch, buy a nice dinner, buy a few snacks. Don't buy for the week, because you will buy loads of junk food and feel obliged to eat it because it's there. I find if I do my food shop more frequently in the few weeks post-show, I avoid buying too much junk, because I know I can go to the shop tomorrow if I want something. And more often than not, you don't really want what you think you want. It's your hunger, your hormones, you're tired, you feel like you want to comfort eat if the result hasn't gone your way, so on and so forth. But a lot of the time it's up there in the head and you don't really need that food. So realistically, I think not stockpiling is very important, and planning social meals. So not having all your cheat meals sat in your house. Go out for dinner. Because I guarantee you, if you go out for dinner, you're not getting a large pizza, 4 sides and a ton of ice cream. You could do that at home, but if you go out for dinner, you're going to have pizza, a little bit of dessert, and that's it. You're satisfied because you've spoken during the meal, your food's digested nicely, and you feel good, you feel comfortable. You can go home, go to bed, and The next day, do whatever you want to do. I think that's important, and I think if you do get in a position where you're yo-yoing post-show and you feel like you're stuck in a rut, best thing to do is to take a step back and ask yourself this: am I building muscle? And again, I've told you previously how to know if you're building muscle. Am I getting stronger? Am I comfortable with how I look? If you're saying yes to all of them, then whatever you're doing, it's fine. If you're comfortable with how you look, if you're getting stronger, if you're building muscle, then in a sense, the off-season is working for you. However, if you're uncomfortable with how you look, if you feel like your training sessions are suffering, then you need to ask yourself this: is what I'm doing now going to benefit me when I get on stage? The answer is probably no. The answer is probably you're going to put yourself in such a bad position that you have to prep even harder than you originally needed to, and risk losing muscle, and risk burning out, and risk getting back into the position where your prep was so aggressive, you're back in that yo-yo off season again, okay? A little bit of discipline goes a long way. I promise you. If you have a tough, disciplined 4 weeks, and when I say discipline, I don't mean, reverse diet and stick to 50 calorie increases a week. I mean, give yourself 3 social meals a week. I mean, give yourself 1 treat a day. If you do that, you're in a better place than having 5 treats a day and 7 cheat meals. It's all about small increments, and over time, you will find that it becomes so easy to control yourself post-show. I've been there, and I think post-show now, for me, it's like any other day. I get up, I have something that I want for breakfast. I don't have chocolate for breakfast, I'll have like a nice cooked breakfast, I'll go train, might have McDonald's, a couple of days of junk, and then I'm just good to go and get into my off season and crack on. But it's taken me time, and I have got into positions where I couldn't stop binging and I couldn't stop eating junk. But I had to basically tell myself for a week or 2 weeks, is this really going to benefit me on stage? And if bodybuilding is what you're passionate about, and if the result is what you're passionate about, then that should be enough motivation to keep you focused. And it is very difficult, and I think you have to just be accountable to someone. You also have to be honest with yourself, and you also have to try and make it easier on yourself. Like I say, don't have things in the house that are triggering you to binge. Get rid of them, chuck them out, get rid of them, and keep what you need. Make your meals in advance, and try and avoid being in positions where you haven't got something to eat but you're hungry. So make your meals in advance, eat your meal prep, and be smart and plan ahead. What's the best workout split to maximize muscle growth? The answer to this one is the split that works for you. One that you can recover from, one that you enjoy, and one that challenges you. There is no set split. I like to do a push-pull legs because I just feel for me that works very well. In the off season, I like to train 3 times a week, 3 really intense sessions, usually a lot longer than my prep sessions, and that works for me. That means I can have social time. That means I can recover. That means I can enjoy my training. It means I'm not stuck in the gym 5 times a week. And for me, that works. And that's how I grow. And that's how I've made the most progress I've ever made, is by taking out the idea of you have to train a certain way. You basically got to do what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Don't do what someone else tells you to do because they said it works. Even as a coach, I'm saying that. If I tell you to do a certain training split and you hate it, you're not really going into the gym and attacking it, you're just dragging yourself through it, then you're not going to grow. So do what you enjoy and do what works for you. And if you can enjoy your training in the off season and enjoy your eating, all within moderation, you will have the best off season. Once you cut out the bullshit, once you cut out the overcomplicating, once you cut out trying to track every little tiny thing, and once you start focusing on the basics, once you start focusing on controlling your food, once you start focusing on recovery, and when I say recovery, I don't mean tracking how many times you've slept in the last week or whatever. I mean tracking, if you get up in the morning and feel fucked, don't train. If you get up in the morning and feel fresh, go and train. It's as simple as that. Go by what your body tells you to do, because your body is the biggest indicator you could possibly have. So hopefully that covers a few bits and bobs in the off season and how to approach it. And the most important thing about the off season is have fun. It is a fun time. Some people will say, you've got to be dedicated 365. I say, yeah, be dedicated 365, but also think of your own mental health. Don't burn yourself out mentally. Don't burn yourself out physically. Make time for friends and family, the people who you've probably been an arsehole to during your prep. Make it up to them. Yeah, spend time with people. Do things you want to do. Go traveling. Go see the world. When it's prep time, that 16 weeks, it is balls to wall, isolation, get it done. The remaining 36 weeks of the year are yours. Have fun with it. Enjoy the training, enjoy the food, live life. That's how I work in my off season. And I mean, my first stage weight back in 2014 was like 61 kilo, and I'm looking to get on stage now closer to 86. So I do that in the off season, and I'm putting on average at least 5 kilo of muscle a year. So it works, in my humble opinion. Anyway, hopefully that covers the off season for you guys, and hopefully you have enjoyed episode 2 of The Hunt. Say bye. Boop.